Yes, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for your subscription. Thanks for your likes and your comments and your shares. Alright, as usual, much appreciated. Now, this video that I'm making now is directly related to a previous video that I have made. And I'll post it somewhere so after you can watch it, go ahead and watch it and so you can get the context of what this video is about. Right? I'll post it somewhere about the place. Up, down, left, right. But you will see it. Right? In fact, I'm gonna divide this video into two just to keep it short. Alright, so in that previous video I talk about the present condition of the JFF and the national senior team after hearing that Mr. Speed has been given one more month to lead the team through the Unity Cup. And I made mention about how persons are divided in terms of their pronouncement. Some taking the sides of Speed and the JFF and others taking the side of the contenders. And I made mention of Mr. Butler, right? And I see that there are some persons who are still angry and upset that they say I'm bashing Mr. Butler. And Mr. Butler have a track record and all of that. And as I have said before, you have just proven my point. If you have a good understanding, if you separate the emotion or your bias towards any of these two individuals, is the only way you're going to understand and get the point that I was trying to make, right? Because based on my assessment, I clearly highlight both persons, why I believe that both persons are not suited for the job. So I did not bash one and elevate the other. So the bottom line of that video is that neither Mr. Butler or Mr. Speed is suited for the Jamaica football. None of them is, in my opinion, should be given the opportunity to run the Jamaica Football Federation, whether that may be in the capacity of the president or the coach. It's unfortunate that Mr. Speed is still there, right? But hopefully he won't be there after a while, right? But the bottom line is, if you get rid of Mr. Speed, or when you get rid of Mr. Speed, don't look in the direction of Mr. Butler. Look in the direction of somebody else. That's basically what I'm trying to make, because if you remain neutral, you will realize that there's not much difference between the two individuals. So you would be running from Mr. Speed and run to Mr. Butler. It's basically another version of Mr. Speed that you're getting. Look how the two persons operate. There are so many similarities, though there are differences. That's basically what I'm trying to make. Right? So here's the thing now. So people will dismiss this and say this is just an opinion. Now let me give you some wisdom. Now I know the culture is that you know if you listen to people's opinion, because everybody have an opinion, and an opinion is a dime a dozen, right? But here is something that I want you to know. So opinions, don't be quick to dismiss other people's opinion. Don't see it as a dime a dozen, right? I can tell you that all opinions have value, and some opinions may be more valued than other opinion, right? But this is the approach that I'm going to teach you. Never dismiss an opinion. When somebody voices their opinion, this is what you do. You assess the opinion, because they will say that an opinion is just an opinion, and that opinions are not fact. That's not true. Opinions are not fact, but opinions can be based on fact. Right? Now, let me break it down some more in case some people still not understand. And I know at the end of the day, some people still not going to understand. What is it? They say that fact is something that you can verify. You can prove that it is true. Good? And an opinion is a belief that somebody have. But an opinion can be based on something that is factual. It can be verified. So when somebody voices their opinion, don't get too emotional and don't get too biased to say that that's just an opinion, you know, important. No. This is how you approach the situation. Every opinion that you get, you assess them. If the opinions are not factual, if the opinions are not logical, then you brush it off as just an opinion. But when you assess it, if you can verify the information that is given in the opinion, and it turns out to be true, then it is a factual opinion. Right? So when I make my assessment, my analysis of the present condition of the JFF, looking at Mr. Ricketts and Mr. Speed and drafting Mr. Butler into it as well. Those weren't based on just random opinions. I watch, I observe, and based on my assessment, I can see clearly that the things that I've highlighted in that video are factual opinions. They can be proven. So I say to you that look at the things that I have said about Mr. Speed and Mr. Ricketts. Verify them. And if in your opinion, they're not factual opinion, those opinions that I have made, if you can't verify them, they're not true, then feel free to dismiss them. And do the same thing for Mr. Butler. The things that I have said, verify them for yourself. Go back and watch all the interviews, as much interviews with Mr. Butler as is possible. If you can verify those as being true, then my opinion is factual. It's a factual opinion. Because you can verify, you can say that yes, this is true, here's the evidence. So the point I'm trying to make here is, again, is that based on my assessment, the present condition of the Jamaica Football Federation and its national team, the blame is placed at the three different set of people who I highlighted in the video. I said the players, and I highlighted how the players must be blamed and how the players can take responsibility. Then I highlighted how Mr. Butler's attitude and approach towards the JFF is not wholesome, it's not beneficial, it's not positive, it's not helpful. Though some of the things that he has said is fact. It's true, it can be verified. And as I said, some of, not all. Good? And I also make the assessment of Mr. Speed. And the things that I've said about him, they can be verified. So when I say, when we get rid of Mr. Speed, don't look in the direction of Mr. Butler. Because based on my analysis, based on my understanding, based on what I'm seeing, based on what I'm observing, there is not much difference between the two individuals. So I don't want anybody to come to me telling me that Mr. Butler have a track record and him having players, them are play in Europe, and him having players and him taking players them across the world, and that's a fact. It can be verified. But that's not where the point lies. The point is, Mr. Butler is not the ideal individual for the Jamaica Football Federation program, whether it may be in the capacity of president or coach or a part of the technical staff. He has not proven to me that he has the ability to do it without being biased, to do it without being vindictive. Just as you are seeing with Mr. Speed, he lacks the ability to be fair and balanced. And that's the same thing with two individuals. So why would you leave from Mr. Speed when you get rid of him and then go to Mr. Butler? You have to look at somebody completely different. Revamp the entire members, get rid of Mr. Speed, get rid of Mr. Ricketts and the entire board, the entire staff. Start afresh. Because clearly these individuals don't have a clue. They have reached to the point where they can't offer anything more to the Jamaica Football Federation, to the Jamaica football program. They can't offer anything else. Good? And if you put in Mr. Butler, I don't see him offering anything that is much different from what is already there. Now, somebody will argue that, okay, he's not in it, so you can't use that to say that his presence is just that he wouldn't be able to offer something different. And you are correct. But here's this. We don't know the future. We don't know what will happen if you give him a chance. But here's the situation. But when you are making a decision, what do you use to make the decision to give him a chance or not? His present situation. How he's operating now, presently. His present capability. His present ability. His present situation. And I'm saying that though we don't know what can happen in the future, because you can give it to him and he very well bring it to a high level. But I'm saying use wisdom. And wisdom dictates that we have to use what is happening to him presently, where he is at presently, to make a determination what is the possible outcome if we give him the opportunity. And I'm saying that based on what we are seeing now with Mr. Butler, is not much different from Mr. Speed. So you can't give him the opportunity. I wouldn't give him the opportunity. Not that you can't. I wouldn't give him the opportunity based on the present situation. But that is not to say that if he gets it, he wouldn't be able to move forward. But I don't know the future. And I have to make decision for the future based on the present. I can't make decision for the future based on the future, because we don't know the future. So you make decision for the future based on the present. And presently, the man is just not suited for the job, as is Mr. Speed. But obviously we know Mr. Speed thing, all of our politics involved in that, right? With Mr. Ricketts and the world of them. That's why he is obviously still there. You understand? So until we realize as Jamaican and realize that, listen, this present administration don't have anything left in the tank. They don't have any more plans, any more ideas that can move the program forward. So why stick around with them? We need to get rid of them and look for somebody else that is different. That's basically what we are saying, right? Now, I'm going to adjust something else in another video after I close up this one. Now, which is important. So if you watch my previous video, you'll see that I allude to, based on my recommendation, what we need to do to move forward when we get rid of Speed and when we get rid of Ricketts and the present situation, the present body. The recommendation I made in terms of the way forward. Now, I am going to make that video where I break down why I make that recommendation and why that recommendation is important. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is where the book stops. Don't dismiss an opinion as just an opinion. Verify the opinion first. If you can verify that thing that is been said, the opinion that has been expressed, if you can verify those things to be true, then that opinion is valuable. Then that opinion is no longer just an opinion, but it's now a factual opinion. Because you can verify the things that have been said and that those things are true. Understand? So a bit of wisdom for you there. Don't let the system brainwash you that every opinion is an opinion and no opinion is important. They can. Right? So that's basically how it is. Right? So check out the next video coming up where I'm going to break down. As usual, thanks for your support. Thanks for your likes, your subscription. And feel free to comment because I take all important things into consideration. I take your opinion into consideration and I verify them. And if what you are saying is true, then I will run with it. If it is not, then I'll just dismiss it as an opinion. Blessings. Peace out.